Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS 25 in sunny Las Vegas. I'm excited to introduce my next guest, a new friend of the show, Melissa Margraves, VP of Healthcare and Life Sciences for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Where'd you come in from?
I live in the Bay Area.
Which part?
Santa Cruz Mountains,
Sure.
About an hour or so south of San Francisco on the coast.
I had a house in Santa Cruz, and I lived in Palo Alto for a little while.
Oh, okay.
So another
Awesome.
area, a little bit.
So
Went over the
area.
mountains. Yeah,
Exactly.
What road is that connects those two? What is
Highway 17, the dreaded 17.
That's it. Yes. Awesome. So when did you get in town?
Yesterday, midday.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Anything fun so far that you've seen around here that you like?
Wow.
Other than the HP booth?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think what's interesting to me is walking around and how many of these companies were not here last year.
Right.
There's a lot of new names, and especially, of course, in the AI world, everybody's trying to find their path. And certainly a lot going on.
And thank you for being a professional with her microphone. She's nice and loud and crisp. It's awesome. Thank you. So what progress are you most excited about seeing in the industry today?
Well, I mean, who is not excited about AI in healthcare?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
I think there's so much going on, as I said, just trying to walk around and understand what each of these companies' role is in AI. And even the big vendors, right, are incorporating AI. So I think what's exciting is, just from a diagnostic standpoint,
Yep.
the idea that AI can now analyze images from different sources, data from different sources, and make diagnosis that may have been missed, or maybe make it sooner than a physician or a clinician would have seen or caught something. So I think that's really exciting. And then predictive analytics is also really exciting in this space. So I think it's a lot of vendors trying to play in that space in general, but being able to actually then take all of that data, leveraging machine learning, and make predictions about your health, right? Be able to address something that might happen to you, or make predictions based on your genetics. And so I think the predictive analytics is also really exciting in this space.
Excellent. I love it. So what are a few healthcare or digital health trends that you're seeing in the industry today?
So there's a lot. I think one that I'm excited about is really the remote patient monitoring, the home health. I mean, anyone that has parents or aging parents, or parents that want to continue to have their independence and live at home, but really shouldn't be living alone. There's amazing technology evolving in that space. And so I'm really excited about it, because I do have a dad that really needs to use some of that technology to be able to, again, give them their independence, but also keep them safe. And so, whether that's fall detection or monitoring that allows a nurse remotely to go, their gait's a little off today, or they're not walking right. Maybe they fell. Maybe we need to call and check in on them. Things like that, without having intrusive cameras on them all the time, which, again, my dad's been an example of why, I don't want you intruding with a camera. Okay, well, what other technology can we look at? And then wearables. I mean, that's really evolved, right?
Yes,
so
significantly, yeah.
You used to, back in the day, you'd put, on your elderly parent one of those buttons, and they push it when they fall.
Yes.
I mean, it's completely evolved from there, right? So wearables in all dimensions, if it's just to send blood pressure or their diagnostic data back, so somebody looking at that data can make some assumptions or proactively involve themselves to get them some help. I mean, all of that is a really exciting space.
Yeah, and I think you've just kind of answered, you moved into my other question. My next question is, what advice would you give to somebody to navigate those trends? So obviously, those types of different devices, and I completely agree with you. I helped navigate my grandmother. She was 99 and a half when she passed. But I actually gave her some devices, to help her navigate. But again, not too intrusive. I didn't appreciate too much. But I gave her an iPad, and then we had some biometrics put onto there that we could monitor once in a while. And it was a process to get her to accept it, but it made our life a lot. And I did not live near her, so it made my life better by being able to navigate some of that, check in on her. She also kind of liked it. She would never admit it, but she did like to. She liked that we were caring for her, looking in on her, but she wouldn't tell us that.
Right.
So moving down that train of thought, what best practices or strategies would you give to somebody to help navigate that?
So I think one of the best practices, I would say, for any of the organizations that are trying to deploy these types of technologies is finding the right partner or partners, because it's really not one partner, right?
Absolutely.
That can bring tribal knowledge, can bring, maybe help fill the gaps of where you might have gaps on your team, or education, that's done what you're trying to do before and has done it successfully, and can feed some of that information and data and teams into what you guys are trying to accomplish. And so I think just from a best practice standpoint, it's really identifying those key partners and introducing them, especially because, in healthcare, there's a declining there's a workforce shortage, right?
Absolutely.
We're seeing more and more, whether that's IT or on the clinician side, and be it COVID that drove them away, or costs, or maybe it's not as exciting to work in healthcare and IT as it is at Meta, right? Like whatever the reasons,
There's
it's
a lot
an
of
ongoing
factors, a lot of
decline.
reasons. Yeah, absolutely.
So it means finding those partners is even more important than ever, because you need those people to help fill the gaps of knowledge that's left. So I think, I would say that is a best practice. Certainly the networking piece of an event like this. Like, I always challenge myself at these events, meet 7 to 10 new people every day. Right? And learn about them. What are they doing? How are they dealing with it? What are their challenges? Because everybody attacks something differently.
Yep.
And so just really using your network that you meet at these events, I think, is really critical too.
I couldn't agree more, and I actually want to take a moment, because a lot of people say, well, they're so busy, why should I fly there? I don't want to go to Vegas. I don't want to go to Orlando. There's, like you said, this is a great opportunity to learn, hone your skills, collaborate, look for partners. It takes partners to accomplish most things in healthcare.
Yeah.
And so if you had that as a goal, and I like how you put pre-planning into this, and so you come here with the mission, which is you'll get a lot more out of it, because a lot of people, they kind of show up and say, well, I didn't get as much out of it, because you didn't put much into it. I guarantee that, because if you put a little bit into HIMSS, you'll get a lot out of it.
Yeah, totally.
I guess following that track, before I move to my last question, what else do you hope to achieve the next couple of days while you're here at HIMSS 25?
So certainly the networking piece, I told you that. I mean, for me, it's a chance to also learn, like I said, learning about a lot of these companies. Are these companies that my company should be partnering with? And how would we partner with them? What does that look like as we're trying to come up with more verticalized solutions? Being from HPE, we're really focused on the healthcare space, but what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything unless you find vertical solutions that address their challenges and needs. So. A lot of that is, we're a piece of it, AMD's a piece of it, right? But there's so many other technologies. So I think for me, really learning a lot about what is here, what this space has to offer, is something I'm focused on the next few days. And then there's some amazing sessions. I sat in on a couple, of course, AI, because it's a hot topic, and just kind of learning what people are doing to address and bring AI into their healthcare infrastructure.
Love it. Fantastic. Thinking beyond today, what's a key trend or strategy that with you ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now? What do you think?
2 to 3 years from now. Well, AI is going to continue to evolve, right?
Absolutely.
If you think of even where we've come in 12 months, most of these companies weren't here. Now they're here. Imagine what it's going to look like next year, right? So I think a trend that you have to really think about is how to build infrastructure and an environment and network that's both open but secure.
Excellent.
Because you want to be able to bring in technologies, but you also, patient data is the most sought after data, right? By attackers. So, how do you both have an open environment but also secure? So I think it's something everybody's got to think about. Cybersecurity is real, and it's in healthcare. We hear about it all the time, right? Change Healthcare has been a big one that got hit this year, last year. So I think just kind of taking those pieces in and trying to really focus on the security piece, but incorporating AI by keeping an open infrastructure as well.
Fantastic advice. Yeah, to your point, I had a broadcast earlier today, and we had 2 different sessions talked about, the average day, it'll cost a health system $1.9 million to be down, and the average outage costs $32 million at the end of 2024. So, being focused on this, making sure that you have the right infrastructure, you write the backup, that's where AMD comes in, and other great leaders out there. So, so I totally agree with that.
Well, and also, just specific to the space, IOMT, right? So if you think about 30 billion devices are expected to be online in the Internet of Medical Things by next year.
Right, good point.
That's huge.
Yes.
Like, how do you bring those? Every device in a clinical setting, in a hospital, a smart bed, whatever it is, wearables, going home with people. that's it almost seems too daunting to even tackle, right? But it's something that's real. So the security piece is so important in finding the right partners to align with.
Absolutely. Well, they're absolutely here if you take the time to look for them, as you know. Melissa Margraves, thank you so much for joining me. HPE, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.